Good evening, this is Kuro and the Dinosaurs. Going over the matchmaking, I've got a Tier 10 game in my Montana. Enemy team, I've got Montana Republic, Kurfürst Yamato, Wooster, Salem Zhao, Smolensk, rounding out the destroyer threats, Gearing, Summers, Kleber, and Shimakaze. The map is my favorite, Ocean, and we're going to kick this thing off. And one of the real lessons about this game is projecting power with your battleship. And the situation that is going to end up happening, we're going to have an enemy push coming up from the south, and we're going to need to find a way to deal with that. And you got a couple ways that you can go about doing that. One of the ways, just kiting the push out and just, bleeding it dry. The other way is just being, a big wall and, just not budging. Be able to, this is particularly effective if the enemy team is not able to keep up with the same amount of damage that you're putting out, and you basically just push into them and gun them down. I'll make cookies right after this, baby, okay?
Enemy force detected.
I know, you're not too happy with that. But one of the things I'm doing right here, I'm trying to be patient. The enemy team doesn't really know where I'm at right now, and doing something like taking a 25-kilometer shot at a, maneuvering Smolensk, not really worth it in my opinion. Maybe if I was, a competitive battleship player, I could hit those shots. My aim's just not there right now. Especially with a ship like Montana that has a really long flight time. So, taking a look right now, was contemplating shooting at the Gearing and then see this Salem pushing up. Now the issue that I'm having here, take a look at the minimap. I've got a Zhao that is just brain dead. There's absolutely no reason for a Zhao to be first that close. He's right up there with the destroyers in the front line, and two, he's completely bow into the enemy, so as soon as he gets detected, he's either got to stay bow in and tank, which a Zhao doesn't really have the armor or the HP to tank HE spam, and also gets overmatched on the nose by just about I believe every battleship in the in this battle. So he's in a pickle, and if he turns out, everything's gonna just wreck him. So I've got kind of the same situation here with the Salem. The Salem's a lot better at being able to fight that sort of battle, though, with the super heal and that kind of thing. So putting some shots into the Salem right now. My Zhao, you can see he's doing the turn of death right now, and it's just gonna get disgusting. Yep. Trying to follow up the trade on this Salem, and I think I'm aiming just a little bit too high. I thought he was gonna turn out sharper than he did, and he's able to get away with it. So unfortunately, we're a ship down now. And you can start to see the push materializing. They're going to push down in here and then eventually just turn the corner and start pushing up through here. So what I'm doing right now with these shots, I'm trying to chip away at these battleships when I can catch them broadside. They're going to be the backbone of this push. Ocean is a map that is a very battleship friendly map, in my opinion, because everything's open. You have nothing but, open lines of sight. It's all about, using your armor, using your geometry, your HP, and just pushing in and just being absolutely, difficult to deal with. You can see the Republic is starting to drive into the pocket right now. I was trying to take a shot at him to try to chip him down, but he's under speed boost. He just slammed on the brakes, and I missed by a mile. I still do have pretty conservative positioning right now. Had to kind of stop right now to let the torps go by. Now, we do have a gift here with this enemy Yamato, basically doing what our Zhao did. Calling target on him right now, trying to get more people to focus this ship down. I am gonna turn my back guns, put a shot out there, see if I can land something. And I'm turning right now to try to get my my front guns into it if he doesn't go down. He ends up burning down, and gonna keep pushing south. Now, if you look at my team has started pushing north, and it's most likely because they see, all of this down here. We're pretty outnumbered here. There's a lot more HP down here than what we have. But I don't see the need to completely bail out right now. If you take a look at the Kurfürst, he basically realized my Montana's still pushing, so he turns around, and I don't necessarily like. I like that he turned around. I don't like the angle that he's coming back at. And what I'd like to see him take, basically come down this line between E and F. And that'd put some more pressure on B, and it would start to open up a real crossfire. You see, I kind of adjusted. I'm coming straight south now, and I'm trying to increase the angle of crossfire that we have here. That is, just how a battleship traps a cruiser. You basically push right into the cruiser, and if the cruiser can't get unspotted and complete his turnaround, the battleship can just wait until he either turns broadside or you just beat him to death, overmatching his nose. So I've got in here inside of what I consider my effective range with the Montana, and you can see when you get inside your effective range, you're really starting to see the damage climb. And this is something that I think a lot of people playing battleships, they get uncomfortable getting into these distances. Well, you got to understand, you got all of this armor. You've got 96,000 HP, 5 repairs. Each repair could be a maximum 21,000 HP a piece. It's a lot of HP. So why not use it? Get in there, stick in, just get stuck in there and get the damage in. Hey, if you look, I'm still being safe. I'm not overextending. I'm angling out, staying outside of the Kurfürst secondary range where he'll start to have more advantages over me. And I'm staying angled just enough that the Kurfürst is going to have a hard time pinning most of my ship. And in the meantime, I'm just pounding his superstructure, his belt every time he gives me broadside. I'm just lining up on him. And at this point, we pretty much turned this push, killing that Worcester, eliminated a lot of their firepower down here. Me chipping down the Kurfürst removed a lot of their pushing ability. Their Republic's driven off, and that leaves us in pretty good shape. Now, I saw the Shema. I took a gamble trying to turn, thinking that torpedoes would be back on this course, but he actually torped in a manner that I basically drove into it. But the Shema's trapped himself by coming down here. He's basically caught now between our push. So, throwing some shots out there. My Kleber should not be going into the smoke. He should just run down the Shimakaze. It is important to note, if you look, I'm turning back into the Kurfürst right now, and I'm turning that way because there's no torpedo threat here from the Shimakaze for, you know, another 40 seconds or so at least. So, still trying to minimize the amount of damage that I can take, just angling my armor, and I'm able to put the Shimakaze down. And at this point, I'm just gonna start driving across and just securing the entire southern end of the map. This Kurfürst, he's one of the final things down here that we need to get this guy out of. Get him out of this corner, and then we can start pushing across the map. And that's a Montana volley right there on Kurfürst. You can actually have higher ones, but you know, 23k volley, that's pretty rough right there to take. So, gonna start lining up the ZOW. If you notice, I'm aiming a bit high. I'm predicting basically where this ZOW is gonna be. ZOW is a really trolly ship for a lot of battleships to shoot. It's low slung in the water. It's got the 30mm armor sections that will bounce Montana's guns. So ZOW is a pretty difficult ship for Montana to deal with. I'm trying to pull the trigger on this guy when he's got his rudder locked over to kind of freeze him in place long enough that my shells can get most of the way there. Try to limit his mobility, but just not lining up the shot well enough. Now that shot right there, if you notice, he was firing while I was actually shooting, and he's looking through his camera, and he probably missed that shot that I just hit him with. And that's something that battleship players should wait for. Wait for your target to be distracted. You see him shoot, immediately fire at him, because they're most likely still looking through their binoculars. They haven't, and they might miss that key moment in time that you actually shoot at them. So, at this point, that volley pretty much broke the ZOW. We just gotta try to mop this guy up. Again, aiming high. I know this guy's gonna try to turn out. Just getting a piece of him, not enough to put him down, but little bits at a time. And this whole time, if you look, I'm pushing through here, and I'm focusing the ships here that are down in the pocket, and I'm trying to squeeze the enemy team into this corner. I'm basically the door closing on the enemy team, along with my Kleber. We're both sweeping everything right up into this top corner so we can get map control. And if you look, take a look at the angles that we have here with the battleships. We've got the Thunderer, we've got the Yamato, and we've got my Montana. We've got total three-way crossfire on everything up in here. This is textbook for finishing an enemy team. It's so punishing to try to fight your way out of this, because there's no way to angle. Every 30 seconds you've got a ship that's able to pretty much one shot most of the cruisers, slamming shots in, and you just got to hope that you've got some way to dodge. That shot there, I think I just overpinned the Citadel. Smolensk has no armor, and even at 15 kilometers, it's a ship that you know, battleships are just going to shoot through that ship very frequently. Managed to overpin my way into putting down the Smolensk. And just, you know, keep pushing. If you see I'm making little course corrections, just in case somebody decides to throw torpedoes my way, I do have a gearing in Summers. They can throw torps a very long way away. You'll notice I zoomed out to take this shot. Kleber is fast as hell. And I'm waiting until the Kleber had his rudder locked over to take that shot. Unfortunately, I straddle him. It's disappointing, but it happens. But it is absolutely important to support your destroyers when they're in these fights, when they're fighting other destroyers. I mean, you know, even 1 or 2 hits goes a long way to putting your destroyer up in the damage race. And you know, it's one of those things. That's the difference between your DD dying and the enemy DD living sometimes. And I can't encourage battleship players enough. Shoot the damn enemy DDs. Yeah, you're not gonna get, you know, huge damage numbers with citadels and all that, but it is absolutely critical that you do it. The damage is very juicy as far as the impact that it has over the course of the game. So at this point, we've put down all the cruisers and battleships. We have pretty much total map control. I'm pushing in here just to try to finish boxing in the team. The Kaba Kleber is going to push up the 9 and 10 line, and everything is just being pushed right up into here. You know, I am detected, so there is something within this quadrant of my ship.
Torpedoes to port.
In this game, obviously, 944 points, gonna be ending very shortly. So, just to recap the game, really important to try to use your ship to project power. You know, either you know, taking positions that, you know, is going to make it difficult for the enemy team to push through, simply because to push through they've got to give you broadside, which gives you a lot of really good shots. You want to try to establish map control where, you know, just like with that Worcester, you know, they end up with ships that, you know, they get trapped in there, they can't go anywhere, and they end up just getting put down. So anyway, gonna cut this one off. No battle results on this one, just figured this one was a good solid lesson on you know, projecting power with your battleship. And hope you guys are having a good night. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below, and I will talk to you later.
Torpedoes to port.